Hi, my name is Adam Craiglia. This is a Global 9 Regions Unit 1 flipped lesson, and this is the Neolithic Revolution and the Emergence of Civilization. So, the objective of this lesson is to understand the shift of the human species from a hunting and gathering society to an agrarian or farming society and the social, political, and economic implications that are associated with this transition. So, the earliest time period in human history is the Paleolithic era. We don't even have written records of this time. The only thing we have is artifacts. So, humans during the Paleolithic era were primarily hunters and gatherers. This means that they followed their food. They lived in smaller clans of about 20 to 30 people, and they were nomadic. Nomadic means that you don't stay in one particular place. You move around depending on where your food source goes. Humans of this time were also using stone tools, and they were basically living their life was very dependent on the environment because their food was constant. If you hit a cold snap, then they would have to move to a warmer place where there was more food for them. So, moving into the Neolithic era, you have early civilizations begin to form in locations where the geography just provides more advantages, such as being on the coast of a river, a lake, an ocean that supplies food, that supplies fish. Agriculture and domestication of animals also starts to come into play here, where humans are now using animals and plants in a way that they haven't used before. They're making their lives much easier because you have this warming period. You do see a surplus of food as well because the growing seasons are much longer. These surpluses define the era, and this leads to a huge population increase, the likes this planet has never seen before. The humans also give up the nomadic lifestyle. They are no longer these wanderers on the plains. They are now in these permanent settlements where they have much larger populations. And they also, this is contrary to popular belief, but they also still use stone tools at this time, and slowly they'll start to use iron. But yes, stone tools are still continued to be used here. So civilization begins to emerge. So the earliest evidence we can see of a civilization are found near bodies of water. And later in this unit, we'll talk about more specific civilizations that form, such as Mesopotamia, which is in between the Tigris and Euphrates River, and the Indus River Valley civilizations, which are found in the Indus River Valley. So you see the very similarity between these early civilizations where they're very close to water to provide them trade and just resources. So the question becomes, what defines a civilization and how does it differ from culture? Because people fall into the trap of almost using the word synonymously when in fact that's not the case. You see, culture more falls under the umbrella of civilization in a way, because you have this idea that maybe like arts and so a civilization you could look at more objectively. For example, it has a city, it has a body of government, more organized. While a culture, there's no objective way to tell how, there's no like steps you need to hit, there's no goals you need to hit to have a culture really. It's just having arts, it's having that social interaction, it's having different values, different traditions. So it's definitely not as objective as civilization is. So the assessment I am giving you guys on Google Forms is to write down 3 characteristics of the Paleolithic and Neolithic time periods respectively, and we will go over them in class tomorrow, and then we will do our activity as well. Thank you guys. One final note actually, as we begin to progress further into the Neolithic era, which we're still in, try to maintain a perspective on how the human species has changed over time. So, when you walk into a supermarket, for example, you are surrounded by just food. if you were to put someone from the Paleolithic era into a supermarket, it would be mind blowing. If we go to like McDonald's, for example, and buy a 99-cent hamburger, just think about how much work and how much effort was put into making that piece of food. You had to grow the wheat, you had to grind it down, you had to turn it into bread, you had to kill a cow to get the beef, you had to grow lettuce, you had to grow a tomato, you had to ship all of this to the restaurant you're eating it in. They could sell it for 99 cents and still make a profit. So you have to think about the perspective that we are in right now. You have to understand the perspective we are in right now and look back to fully understand where our species has come. So like I said, guys, assessment is right below on Google Forms, 3 characteristics of the Paleolithic and Neolithic time periods, and I'll see you in class tomorrow. Bye.